Hey, it's Paul from Guitar World, and today we're going to be looking at an awesome head and cabinet combination from Fender, the Fender Super-Sonic 100 head, along with its partnered 412 enclosure. Let's take a look. Not too long ago, Fender introduced the Super-Sonic, which was basically a medium wattage combo amp, and it married both the old and new technology of Fender's amplifiers. In the two channels that it had characteristics of its old amps, and then some of the new hot-rodded versions of the gain on their gain channel of this amp. Now, the brand new Super-Sonic 100 over here is a 100-watt version of that amp, which is feature-laden with the same two channels and a couple more tweaks to it. And it sounds great partnered with its 412 enclosure with Celestion Vintage 30 speakers. The Super-Sonic 100 has two channels, a vintage and burn channel. Now, like the original Super-Sonic combo, it has the same set of controls, except there's added tweakability. As you can see on the EQ section, there's an addition of a mid control. It used to have treble, bass, and now you have a mid EQ. There's also the main volume over here, and then the added gain knob. Now what this does, it adds a bit more heft to either voicing on this channel. Over here we have a voicing switch for showman and bassman. Showman certainly has all that sparkly, jangly character of the early vintage Fender amps. And then when you hit bassman, that has a punchier, bolder sound similar to the bassman combo amps that Fender introduced in the 50s. Moving over to the burn channel, we have the same set of controls, of course, from the original Super-Sonic with the added notch tune, which gives you a whole bunch of voicings on this channel, especially in the EQ section. Of course, you have the treble, bass, and mid, your main volume, and you have two gain knobs, which you can play around with. It adds different character of overdrive and distortion, and as you move them along, you'll find how they basically complement each other. Last but not least, we have a global reverb, which just sounds deep and lush. Looking at the back panel of the Super-Sonic 100, there's even more tweakability. You have a damping control, which allows you to set the rectifier, whether for loose, normal, or tight. So it gives you a little added flexibility in how you like your sound. There's also Fender's automatic bias on the tubes, which is a great addition for helping you bias tubes and checking where tube failure is about to happen. There's also send and return jacks, and if you need to boost, all you need to do is put a 1/4-inch cable in both of these, and you can have an added boost function to boost your solos on either channel. The most important thing to note is it's a 6L6 tube amp, and it has a setting for arena or club, meaning arena is the full 100 watts, and you can drop it down to 25 watts at club level. Very manageable. Let's begin with the vintage channel on the showman setting, and let's take a listen to the jangly sound of that. Now let's switch the voicing on the vintage channel to the bassman setting with the flick of the switch and hear what that sounds like. Moving over to the burn channel, there's a lot of tweakability on this channel. What I'm going to do is let you hear it with the settings I have here, and I'll move the gain structure from gain 1 to gain 2 so you hear how both these gain knobs react with one another. And then last but not least, I'll let you hear the notch tune, how it changes the overall voicing characteristic on this channel. Finally, let's take a listen to the reverb. It can be very subtle or extremely cavernous. Take a listen. The Fender Super-Sonic 100 is a home run of an amplifier with its marriage of vintage and modern and the added flexibility of voicing and power settings. It's impossible to get a bad sound out of this amp. Definitely check this one out.